Alright guys, welcome back to another video on my The Crew 2 closed beta, let's play thing, and in this video I wanted to just talk about how I feel towards the manual shifting mechanic and the button mapping of manual shifting. Now as you can see, I am running in manual mode. I can shift through the gears just manually whenever I want to, as you can see, but there's a fairly big problem I find with the manual mode of this game, and that is when you actually activate manual mode, you will have, how to say this, the bumpers I feel just should be inverted with the shifting, because with the default game and with the default game key mapping, button mapping, whatever, it's basically programmed so that the right bumper is the upshift button and the left one is the downshift button. But in my opinion, that's quite inconvenient to use, because that would mean you'd have to move your fingers around, kind of, to use the right bumper to shift, because you're holding the accelerator at the same time, and you're trying to shift, so it's a little bit weird. So in my opinion, switching those buttons around, so that the left bumper is upshift and the right one is downshift, will make it a lot more convenient, because you can hold the throttle down with your left finger, and then you use your hold the right button down with the right trigger down with your right finger. I'm dumb. And then use your left finger to upshift with the left bumper. And yeah, do the opposite with downshifting, and that's exactly what I'm doing in this case with in this video, which is a lot more intuitive for me. But if they don't change that, I guess it won't be too big of a deal for me to map it to how I want. But for console players, it might be a little bit more annoying, because they can't remap their buttons, or unless they decide to change that on launch, which hopefully they will, because that would be nice for them to be able to do that. But yeah, in general, I do like the shifting mechanics. They're very, very nice. And the fact that they actually made it so intuitive in a way that you can literally switch to any other vehicle, say this plane, and I'm flying at about 150 miles an hour, and then I switch back into a car, and it will automatically put me in the right gear for driving. So as you saw there, it put me in 4th gear, so I didn't have to do it myself. Manually shift it up into the right gear. And yeah, it's very intuitive. I do like what they've done with the gears, but the other suggestion I would have that I have to add, besides inverting the bumper buttons, is adding an option for you to turn on not really a beeping sound for when you're reaching redline, but like make your controller vibrate when you're reaching redline. That would make it a lot more intuitive, so you don't have to look at the HUD to see when you're reaching redline. But I guess you can kind of listen to the engine and figure out when you're reaching redline. That's kind of how you do it in real life as well. You shouldn't really rely on your gauge to tell you what redline you are at, because that's a little bit dangerous. But yeah, adding the option for a vibration, to have your controller vibrate when you're reaching redline, and when you hit redline, would make it a lot more intuitive, so that it's kind of like a physical feel. Because in real life, the car would probably shake when it's getting to redline, and that would be a really, really nice, immersive, and just helpful feature, in my opinion. But there is a little bit of a problem, though, with manual shifting. On some events, it's actually kind of broken in a way. It doesn't automatically put you in the correct gear. So in this case, let's go over to this event. This event I've actually had problems with many times. I don't know if this is just simply with bikes, or I had problems with the bike. So I know for a fact that the bike had this problem, but let's take this buggy for instance. Well, that's weird. There's another player here apparently with the same car as me, and that was just weird. But yeah, I can manually shift through in this cutscene as well, which is nice. There we go. Let's see if it will put me in the right gear, or if I'm gonna get locked out of gears. No, it did put me in the right gear. What the heck? So it works with the cars in this event, but it doesn't work with the bikes. I don't know if the bikes are just broken. That's a little bug that the developers should fix. Hold on, let me grab a bike. Maybe it's to make it so that it's a little bit more fair against cars, because bikes might be a little bit more overpowered compared to cars. Okay, let's see if they just somehow fix that or something overnight. Yeah, as you can see there, I was left in neutral. Oh, that's probably why. Maybe because the car doesn't have, this bike doesn't have a reverse gear, and the game thinks that neutral is first gear. That's a very interesting bug, but I'll report that to developers so that they can fix that. But yeah, in general, it's even doing like bikes in Rally Raid with manual shifting is quite a lot of fun. Although here's actually a little bit of a tip though with using Rally Raid vehicles and so forth. Whenever you go over a bump, use a little bit of nitrous as soon as you land. That'll actually give you a little bit of a burst of speed. A little bit extra speed added in, because the game's physics engine works where when you land the jump, it'll give you back all of your speed from before you went airborne. And by using a little bit of nitrous, you will give yourself a little bit of an extra burst of speed. And trust me on this, it really does work. It's the same exact mechanic that happened with the first game. It just works that way. And it makes sense. Turn. But yeah, it even works better than just simply using it while you're driving in a straight line. It will actually give you quite a significant speed boost. Which I don't think they can really fix that, per se. Make it so that you can't really abuse that, since it is a pretty major part of the game engine, and it's very, very hard to code that out. Since considering the first game had that issue and they weren't able to really patch that out in this build, in this game. But yeah, it's not too big of a deal. You just kind of gotta understand that that's how the physics engine works. Yeah, going around this. But yeah, I guess that's a little bug they could fix. This is kind of proof that this bug does actually exist with the bikes on events. I'll have to actually test that out on the street racing one. But yeah, it seems the cars are perfectly fine and they'll put themselves in the gear perfectly fine. But the bikes don't put themselves in the first gear. Automatically in the cutscene, I'll just quickly put these on. Oh look, for my first 40 part, and this one's almost a 40 part, 140 part as well.
Well for us. I got the check, you got the win, we got our name in the paper. Very well indeed.
But yeah, it's still very intuitive, even just going around in free roam and riding these bikes around. But I should probably test this out on the street racing bike to see if that is exactly the same case as well. So, get you guys in like 2 seconds. Okay, so here we are, doing the sleeper with my KTM bike. So let's see if this is actually the same case with the gearing issue. Can I skip this?
3.
It seems like it put itself in gear perfectly fine. Nope. So that is a little bit of a problem. There's literally an AI car. There was literally an AI car inside of me. Jeez, the collisions of the bikes are so weird. I can't shift this bike apparently. But yeah, that is apparently a bug. Let's abort this mission. Just so I don't bore you guys to death with this. But yeah, that's just a little tiny bug. They can fix that pretty easily considering the cars work perfectly fine. They just probably need to alter the code just slightly so that it takes into account that the bikes don't have a reverse gear. And so yeah, that's basically it for this video. And yeah, if you enjoyed it, give the video a like and catch you guys in the next one. I don't know what I'll be doing next time because the beta's getting fairly close to the end, and yeah, I'm running out of things to do really and to discuss about. Maybe I'll do a final impressions of the beta and how I feel about the game. I don't exactly know, but yeah, catch you guys in the next one. Bye.